sometimes I trust my eyes. When you watch Drake Maye, he's got to learn to slide. He's not good at that. But when the ball comes out, it's got a little heat on it. It comes out tight. I think he throws a very nice deep ball. Some of it is, my eyes don't lie, he just looks the part. Tell me your thoughts on Drake Maye.
Yeah, you know, I looked at him very similar to Sam Darnold coming out of college because the amount of touchdowns and interceptions and him getting together with Josh McDaniels, I think couldn't have been a better situation. And we see now how Sam Darnold's progressed. This is years down the line, but we're seeing all the potential that he had. And with Drake Maye, this has happened a lot quicker. And I'm going to show you a tape, Colin, that you're going to love. And if you're a New England Patriots fan, you're going to love this tape as well because it shows his development from a quarterback perspective and it shows his potential physically. So in this situation, it's early in the game. They're sending Hunter Henry in motion to give him a man zone answer. What is it, man or zone? And then they're going to they're going to fake that they're throwing a wide receiver screen to Stephon Diggs, obviously their biggest target. And then Henry and Mac Hollins, they're going to go up and they're going to try to bluff the defenders, get those defenders to bite on the wide receiver screen to Stephon Diggs. And then ideally, Hunter Henry now is going to run a middle read. Mac Hollins is going to go ahead and he's going to run a fade route, and they get 2-on-1 on the safety. So it's a little bit of a gadget play that's on the front side of this route. And then on the back side of the route with Tayshaun Boutte, he's going to run a slant go. He's the isolation route. He's the second option on this, but they want to hit the home run with the gadget play on the front side. What New Orleans is doing is they're in straight man-to-man coverage across the board, which means they have one player deep that's going to be the safety. Usually he's in a post safety column, but they're going to slide him over to the three receiver side where Diggs and Henry are, and they're bringing a fifth guy off the edge because they want to set the edge on Drake Maye. They want to make sure that he doesn't have a scramble lane because he's hurt so many people with that. So as he comes back, he's going to sell the wide receiver screen to Diggs, and he does a good job of it. But what he's really doing is he's looking downfield to see whether he's got what he wants from the coverage. Have the defensive backs bid up, has the safety bid up, and he doesn't have that. So now he's got to look backside to Boutte. And you can see at this point, Boutte is far from open. He's locked down in man coverage. New Orleans has a good rush. This is what I really like about Drake Maye. So it's not there. He doesn't panic. He keeps his eyes downfield. Look at how he finds the opening over here to his left, the seam. Again, there's no panic. Eyes are downfield. He moves into that little crease, and then take a look at this. This is very Josh Allen-esque. It's almost like a jump pass. He's on 1 foot, but you're going to see he comes actually off the ground, and it's effortless. Boutte's nowhere near wide open. This is tight man-to-man coverage, and you're going to see from this other angle how well this ball is thrown. So there he looks, slides into the crease, and look how he drops this into the pocket off of his back foot. So if you need a reason to be excited, it's that. He took a look at what the coverage was. The coverage wasn't there. He's got patience. He's got poise. And then he effortlessly throws the ball 25 yards down the field and in the bucket. It's a lot to be happy about.
Yeah. I mean, listen. This is the worst version of Drake Maye that we're going to see right now. I mean, just think about that. This is the worst version of Drake Maye, outside of maybe when he's, in the final year of his career. We don't got to think about that right now. I'm the one that said he's a mobile Tom Brady. I'm going to be like Brew and be like, I'm the first one to say it on Sports Illustrated. I'm the one that called Mahomes Jordan-esque. I'm calling him the mobile Tom Brady. His game is interesting because we talked about this a lot with like Jalen Hurts, actually, that Jalen Hurts has done so many great things, but his style of play doesn't feel that great in terms of when you're watching it. Like, it doesn't look as nice as when you see maybe like a Josh Allen, a Mahomes, a Burrow, whatever. Like, it just is not as aesthetically pleasing. And it's actually interesting. Drake Maye has that a little bit, where it's not as aesthetically pleasing. If you didn't really watch a lot of Drake Maye, you'd be like, and you just saw a couple, clips here and there, not like full on highlights of him just doing amazing things, but just like, I don't know, a couple of drives here and there. I don't know if you'd quite get it. You wouldn't quite get it. You'd be like, he's kind of mobile, I guess. Or like, yeah, he's got some speed. Or like, that was a nice throw. Like, you just like wouldn't. It almost kind of feels like Daniel Jones a little bit in a way. Because when you watch him, you're not like, now that's a smooth pass. And Daniel Jones uses his legs a lot. And you're not like, that's a great runner. Like, it is interesting that some guys, just the way they carry themselves, like even Colin talking about sliding. Like for me, it's something that I could never personally identify with because I played all the sports. So like, for me, it's like I don't even view myself anymore through the lens of like I'm a football player, I'm a basketball player, I'm a baseball player. I'm like I just like see it as like athleticism at this point. Obviously, since I don't even play anymore, and so this idea that like other people are not good at like throwing and shooting and diving and sliding is I'm just like because they always talk about that in football. So and so has a baseball background, so he's good at sliding. And like I've had a baseball background since I was 3 years old, so it was like sliding is. I'm just like, what you tell me that these athletes can't slide? Like what are you even talking about? And this always shows it's really highlights this when you see other NFL athletes who are in the NFL trying to like throw a football. Like you literally got wide receivers that when they go to throw the ball, you're like, that looks weird. That does not clearly look like a quarterback throwing the ball. You just see it. And in a way, Drake Maye somehow is both. Where there's moments when you're just like, that looks like perfection. And then there's other moments when you're just like, that looks a little weird, but it's still great. It's still elite. It's still special. This is what like Jaden Daniels' game, I think, jumped off the screen so much. There's such a smoothness to it and a fluidity to it that you're just like, this just looks, this is just enjoyable to watch. And so I think that is why a lot of people are kind of dragging their feet to understand what Drake Maye is doing. And it just feels like, yeah, he's got some good stats. He's got some good numbers. Yeah, he made a nice throw. Yeah, he made a nice play. But it doesn't feel maybe like as imposing, or it feels more of just like, yeah, we're just, lots of quarterbacks have stretches of great play. And yeah, I just, it's just fascinating to me. It really, really is. This game itself is going to be interesting. I think, and I think I'll want to just to plant that flag of what I just said. I think what really highlighted that was the Patriots versus the Bills, because we know how much of a monster Josh Allen has been. Obviously, Patriots fans are well aware of that. And when the Patriots won, Drake Maye did a lot of great things, but some of it just felt like you were kind of fortunate to have that work. Yeah, you avoided the sack and threw that ball, but like you kind of looked like you didn't know what you were doing. And it's just like, I don't think his game is going to necessarily look as smooth as, say, a Jaden Daniels, but he's going to continue to be this great. And again, I think it's why sometimes people still drag their feet with a Daniel Jones or I wouldn't say Sam Darnold, because I think his game aesthetically is pretty good. But I think it's just going to be, I think no matter how great, no matter how amazing Drake Maye plays, people will continue to struggle to be like, that's a great player, which is, it's going to be interesting to watch, honestly. Listen, I think they would do it right now with Tom Brady because he's not mobile. So when he moves around the pocket a little bit, like it can look cumbersome. It can look awkward. It can look like a Jared Goff. And so it's just, I find it fascinating. I really do. And I feel like that's why after the Patriots beat the Bills, you didn't really get that huge momentum of like Drake Maye has arrived. Drake Maye, they were just like, yeah, like, I don't know. It just, the conversation felt muted a little bit in a way that I don't think it necessarily happened with Jaden Daniels, for instance, when he took down Joe Burrow, when he beat the Eagles, when he had any of his other big wins. But moving on to this game now, the Falcons, Patriots and the Falcons. To my knowledge, Michael Penix is going to be playing and whatnot, and they should be, for the most part, full strength. This Falcon defense has been great, but the team as a whole for the Falcons have been really inconsistent. Their coaching staff, I think, is just not good enough, and so you never know what type of game you're going to get. You're either going to get a great game that you're just like, this is the Falcons football that we know and love and expect, or you're just like, fire everyone. And so I'm fascinated to see. It's tough. I wish this Falcons team has been more consistent, and then I could use this game to really try to evaluate Drake Maye and the Patriots and how they've been unfolding. I think every game right now, the Patriots have found themselves in a situation where it's just like, you're legitimately competing for the number 1 seed. So it's just really all about like, just getting the job done any way you can, right? Like it's just like, hey, we're looking just to kind of continue this smooth this smooth run that we're having, and continuing, from my viewpoint, not showing greatness, not showing dominance, not showing how exceptional anyone on this team is, let alone Drake Maye, but showing resilience. That to me is what it will continue to be about, because they haven't proved that. Drake Maye hasn't proved that because he hasn't played long enough. He's had moments, obviously, and that's why I really love the game that he played last week, getting sacked all those times, but still being great. Like, that is resilience to me. But continuing to show that, continuing to sustain that. And again, maybe he gets the chance for that because maybe Michael Penix is looking good and this Falcons defense is looking like it should look, or they're just inconsistent and this is just an easy toss-up game for the Patriots. Like, I honestly don't know how a game like this will unfold, because I think the quality of play from the Atlanta Falcons has been bizarre. I mean, it's just been the most extreme team where they're either looking awesome, looking great, looking like, wow, okay, they can win the division, to, wow, they look like they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, right? So it's just, you just have no idea. A part of me would love to see the best version of the Falcons go up against the Patriots, because I want to see a good game, and I want to see Drake Maye and the Patriots. I want to see them, how they rise to the occasion to that. I also want to see the Falcons just be better. Falcons were a team that I had a lot of belief in, but like I said, with injuries and bizarre coaching, this is who the Falcons are right now, unfortunately for them. But I mean, Drake Maye is clearly going to be the man of that game, and so yeah, I'm anticipating a straightforward game in terms of defense on this offense, and I'm anticipating Drake Maye actually having to show his greatness. Like, actually having to show why he's a great quarterback, and not it just being an easy day, an easy Sunday, or exceptionally difficult where you're just like, oh, wow, Drake Maye, he's thrown for 175 yards, 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and a fumble. Like, I'm not necessarily anticipating that. I do anticipate that it'll be closer to what we saw with the Cleveland Browns than anything else, in terms of needing to show that level of resiliency. The real question will be is, what can Michael Penix in that offense? How do you stop Bijan Robinson, Drake London, et cetera, et cetera? Because again, that offense really does have the ability to also be legit, be great, but they're just so inconsistent. I mean, listen, Bijan Robinson can rush for 30 yards this game, or like 200 yards. So it's just, that's what actually kind of makes this game fun, because it's just like, I don't know what version of the Falcons we're going to get, and so therefore I don't know what the Patriots are going to need to do in this game. So it is actually a pretty sneaky, interesting game right now. I think normally on the surface you would almost be like, the Falcons haven't been that good, the Patriots have been great, this game should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. But because of the inconsistency from Atlanta, anything's on the table from New England. And I think it's important for New England to understand that, and for Drake Maye to understand that, that like, you just don't know what you're about to get in this game. Like, this game could be significantly harder than you would have maybe originally anticipated, or it could literally be the easiest game you're playing all season long. So when I frame it that way, I'm like, I convinced myself I'm excited for this game right now. But I mean, they didn't answer this question, should Drake be in the MVP conversation? They've been on a run where they keep asking questions at the bottom of the screen, but like not actually discussing them. You guys already know my answer, so I won't waste your time with that. Drake Maye should obviously be in the MVP conversation. And if anything, I think it's ridiculous to even phrase that question in that way. It should just be, should Drake Maye be the leading MVP candidate? But to even just argue, should he even be in the conversation? That's insane. That if he's not in the conversation, then no one's in the conversation. You can make the argument, should he be the front runner, second, whatever, that's fine. We can always debate that and argue that. But to try to have a discussion of whether or not he should be at least in the conversation, that's insane. That's madness. I'll have none of it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Drake Maye and the New England Patriots? How do you feel about this game coming up, Falcons versus Patriots? How do you feel about Drake Maye, that we're literally seeing the worst version of him right now? Just bonkers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, Let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.